So today I want to talk to you about this Imolaza Wi-Fi smart irrigation controller. So I'm going to walk you through the install, some of the features of this, and overall why this is a great option for DIYers, as well as anybody looking for a great smart controller to even replace some of the higher end standard controllers out there on the market from some of the big name brands. This is an absolutely fantastic option. Okay, so I've gotten to the step here where I am installing all the wires, and you can see, so I've pulled all of my irrigation lines right here. It's a little hard trying to figure out where my finger is, but I've pulled all the irrigation wires back up through the conduit, and I've got a picture of my old setup, so I know exactly which zones everything is. And you can see from a installation standpoint, everything here, it might be a little bit difficult to see, but everything is marked above the green. So we've got a common wire, and then we're going to install all of our zone wires. Okay, so I've got everything wired up. It is a little windy, so I apologize if there's some wind noise. I've got it plugged in, so the white cord cable here is the plug. It is obviously in the weather protective cover, so you can see that the white here is your common, and then your other colors are your sprinkler zone, so it's super easy to wire up. Basically, if you've got an irrigation system in ground, this literally will take you 10 minutes to pop the old one off and pop the new one in. There are spaces here, if I can get it to focus, there are spaces for a weather sensor, but to be honest, one of the reasons, or a rain sensor or any other sensors, but one of the reasons why I'm going to this Imolaza is because my sensors never worked. In fact, you can even see I've got holes that I need to fill right next to it. So everything goes in very, very easily. And we're gonna get this turned on and walk you through how it works. So I've got the cover put on it here, so it's nice and cleaned up. And one of the things that is really nice about this is that you can run the zones from here, or you can run the zones from your phone. Obviously, it being a smart controller or a Wi-Fi controller, the best way to do it is just from your phone. But if anybody wants to turn them on from here, you absolutely can. So it's a little hard to see here because I've got the sun blaring right in here, but you use the buttons to go up and down, and the zones are highlighted. And when you get to the place where you want to run the zone, in my case, it's lit up at zone 3, which is going to be my front yard, which is closest to me. So I'm going to show you how quickly here that it runs. I'm going to pan over here, and you can see that the sprinklers are on. And then if you want to pause it, so let's say you want to make an adjustment to a sprinkler head, you can click pause. And the sprinklers go back down, or you can just hit stop and it will stop that cycle altogether. So overall, the controller itself, number one, it looks really nice. In general, it looks better than any of the other name brands. My house is white, and again, forgive the fact I've got to fix the rain sensors, but in general, it looks really, really nice. Closes up, everything is white. It matches my house. It blends in a lot better than your typical gray or kind of brownish boxes. Everything can be done from here, and also everything can be done from the phone. So we're going to go in, and I'm going to show you some of the setup features to set some of your zones up, and some of the other really cool features that are offered with this system. Okay, so we're going to add a controller, and it's going to tell you to make sure your Wi-Fi is on. We're going to select the controller and then rename it. So I just renamed this home. And then this little green box that says get phone's Wi-Fi, you're going to click on that. And that's going to connect you to whatever Wi-Fi that your phone is connected to. You can see my Google show up top there. And then it's going to start connecting. And it's going to show that it's added. So now we're going to set the address here. And I'm just choosing, this is not where I live. I'm just choosing a random location in Charlotte, North Carolina. And it will allow you to choose the exact specific location. In this case, I just chose a random spot on a highway. And then it's going to choose basically a signal close by. So we've got the area set up. And now I'm going to show you how to set up each one of your zones. So I clicked zone 1. We're going to walk through. It'll allow you to test it. We're going to rename this. So in my case, zone 1 is the backyard. You can add a picture if you'd like. And then you're going to choose the type of grass or whatever you're watering. So I'm watering Bermuda. And then also the root zone depth. Mine is about 5 inches. And this crop efficient value, I set at 55%. You're going to choose what type of head it is. And mine, they're rotary heads, so it's gear driven. The rotaries are slightly different in this view. And you're going to set your flow rate. Also the sand for me. And it gets lots of sun and it's a very flat area. Then it wants to know how big it is. In my case, 750 square feet. And then the last thing here is to set basically where you want the water content to drop to. And then you're all set up. So we're going to go back to the home screen here and talk about a couple other details. So I just walked you through how to set up your zones. And you can see here I've got my 6 zones set up just like I showed you on the install. They're all nicely named. And I'm going to start setting up a program. So you can see here you've got the option to choose how to set it up. So I'm going to use the ET Smart Schedule. I'm going to check all the zones that I want it to schedule for me. And again, this is the best option for something like a smart controller because it'll help you do this. And you can see it sets the suggested runtimes based on the size of the zone, the soil type, all the information we entered before. I'm going to go ahead and click through here. And then it gives you the option to do a cycle and soak, which I'm going to use the smart cycle and soak. Again, use the data that it's got. And I'm going to turn on the info that I want here. So freeze skip and wind skip, just to make sure I get optimal watering. I'm going to set my watering days to odd, and it will give you an alert there. And then I'm going to set when do I want this to start. So I'm saying today, and I'm going to run it forever. I want it to run early in the day, which is the best option. So early and before sunrise. And then I'm going to set this schedule name. In my case, I'm naming it Auto Water. And then your schedule's successfully set. So you can see it'll show up there. You can set more than one schedule as well. So I've walked you through a demonstration, all of the install. And again, this is an absolutely fantastic option. The price point's great. The app is great. And some of the features that I just walked you through in the app, for example, all the automatic watering features are kind of really top of the line, in my opinion. And I've installed, I don't know, 3 or 4 of these different systems at different places using almost all of your bigger name brands. And I think, honestly, this one coming onto the market is probably my favorite. So strongly suggest giving this one a shot. I don't think it's going to let you down. In fact, I know it won't. Super easy to install, super easy to use on the app. Definitely give it a try.